Hey there, vacation dreamers. You've landed on Book Solid, the podcast where two travel advisors share insider tips, top destinations, bucket list activities, and everything you need to know to get the most out of your next vacation. We'll cover what's included, what's not, and throw in plenty of real talks and laughs as we help you plan with confidence. Let's jump in.
Hey there, friends. Today we are going to talk about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, what's included, what's not included, what we recommend doing if you choose to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. This is something that I think we've both done at least once, haven't you? Have you done?
Nope.
Oh,
I'm going next year, though. I already have my
okay.
ticket.
So what we're
Oh,
looking forward to and what to expect from the Halloween party. But you're going in September.
yes.
So this will be good because then this will be something that you're excited about, but then
Mm-hmm.
I can throw in some tidbits and stuff. So perfect.
Yep.
So for this year, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, I am looking at directly. So if I'm like not looking at you, I've got my cheat sheet open on my other screen.
Mm-hmm.
Select nights from August 15th through October 31st. Um, they change slightly every year, but usually you can expect it to start in August and then end October 31st. I think they've done the first before, if I remember correctly.
One thing that I do know about why the dates change and like select days of the week, they do that because of whatever day Halloween falls on. So they'll
Mm.
select at least for August and September until kind of like the end of the month because I have like the specifics pulled up. They generally pick 3 days of the week to run the party on, and one of the days of the week is whatever that Halloween for the year is going to fall on. So this year for 2025, it is going to fall on a Friday. So you can expect every single Friday starting August 15th that there will be a Halloween party, except obviously Halloween is already sold out. Duh. But as you get into like the end of September, oh, I forgot to say the days. They run on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. When we get to the end of September, they start to throw in more days. So there on the 25th, there will be a Thursday party. And then once you get into October, then you've got it kind of jumps around, honestly. But you can expect once the 25th hits of September in October every Thursday as well. But then there's like a random Tuesday thrown in on the 13th. Don't know why it's there. Not quite sure. I wonder if because
It's
personally that's my fall break, so I wonder if a lot of families are going to be traveling that week. That's just my guess. I don't know.
it's the 13th Columbus Day.
That I don't know.
So we
I should,
have
but I don't.
Tuesday and then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday of that week.
Very weird. Yeah, because there isn't,
Um,
for some reason, there is no Sunday party.
oh,
So whatever the reasoning is, I probably should have
is
looked at
that
this at the time, but
the
dumb.
wine and dine? Is that, or is that November?
Oh, could be.
No, that's November.
I don't know. Something to look into.
It is something, and it's something to note that when you're planning your vacation, you're planning your park days, to always kind of double check. Because if you want a full day at Magic Kingdom, don't go on a party day. You're going to get kicked out at 6 o'clock. However, on the flip side, if you want a slower Magic Kingdom day, you're okay with leaving early. Party days are a great day to go because the crowds don't show up until 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can get into the party as early as 4 p.m. And then they usually last between 12 and 1, 11 and 12 or something like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. The party
um,
typically runs from 7 p.m. to roughly
oh,
about,
midnight.
yeah.
In my opinion, if it is your first time going to Disney, I it depends on what your love for Halloween party and I would say the age of your kids. Um, I don't always recommend it for your first time because it's an extra cost. And I know a lot of people are already on a budget to where that can kind of cut into it. However, I've had clients that is the reason they go down is for one of the parties. And they'll plan their whole trip around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's late nights. So if you have younger kids that aren't used to staying up that late, but you want to get the most out of your party, it I've also seen where some of those kids it's 9 o'clock and they're done and parents are stressed. So it's it's a hit and miss, I think. We've done it both ways. And we've done it just as adults, and I'd say we got what we wanted out of it. It was a great time. We've done it with our kids being we did the Christmas party when they were little, and it was okay. And we made it through and it wasn't terrible. I got the best Santa picture out of it ever. That's the story for another day. And then we've done it where they were even a little older and it was okay, but I think they were tired. And it depends on you, your family, and your kids, and the type of vacation you want. So yes, it is this is a special event party, so it is an additional cost. It is not included in a Magic Kingdom ticket.
Yes, and I'll speak on pricing because I still have it pulled up. So the cheapest tickets that you can get are going to be in August, specifically on 2 days, going to be the 17th and the 19th. That's going to cost you $119 per person. That's going to be the cheapest options, other than obviously Halloween, which is sold out. Obviously, Halloween would be the most expensive. Naturally, the 30th, which is the very last day for the party, is going to be 229 per person. So it is going to be pretty costly. Another thing to note is you cannot add it onto a package. Like let's say we book, your resort and theme park tickets and everything. You cannot add on the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party tickets at time of booking. They are due in full at time of booking. So you also have to be pretty set on the fact that you're going to go because these are non-refundable, which is something a lot of families don't know or understand because yes, you'll book a package, all the things, work with a travel advisor as ourselves or whatever. These tickets are non-refundable. So let's say you got to cancel, you're out that money. So you have to be pretty set on going to this party so that you don't lose out on hundreds of dollars.
Yep.
So
And I would recommend too, if you do want to go to the party, don't unless your flight is like super early. I wouldn't have your first day planning on being the party.
mm-mm.
With there could be delays with the flight, and then you're starting your vacation off at the midnight night. So that could be set your vacation kind of exhausted from the get-go. But
Yeah.
I think my biggest fear would be you have flight delays, you didn't make it, and now you
Yeah.
had to miss the party that you paid non-refundable
Same goes
tickets.
for the day you leave. Don't, I even
Right.
tell my clients that I work with, I tell them, I'm like, I want to help you and have you have a successful trip. Not even just this event, but just planning in general. Do not plan anything on your travel days because you never know what's going to happen with the airlines. It literally just happened to me. I sat at the airport for 2.5 hours waiting for my flight. That was obviously not planned. So
Right. Right.
don't don't account on the fact that your flight is going to be on time because there's a possibility it won't. So,
And I'll add addition to that too, doing it like we had it to where we had it the night before we left. And then we left at like we had to leave for the airport like 5 a.m. or something crazy. So you have this party that ends at midnight. You're lucky to get back to your resort by 1. We slept what 3 hours? And then I don't even think we slept, to be truthfully honest, because then we had to be like out the door. So thinking of that too, like it can all these things be done in a perfect world? Absolutely. you can absolutely be exhausted on that plane and hope you fall asleep or no flight delays or anything like that. But to just make sure that you're set up for success is to kind of avoid the situations that could make it harder. So then a good thing to idea would be to have a rest day or pool day for that day after the party to recoup, have a late breakfast, go shopping at Disney Springs, just something relaxing to kind of recoup from that
Especially if
party.
you're at Magic Kingdom or another park if you have the park hopper ticket. But if you're already at the parks until, however you decide to structure your party day, whether you go back to the resort, take a break, whatever, or you literally just stay at the parks all day, that's a lot of walking. On a normal day at the parks, you're doing 20,000 steps. Throw in a party where usually the park
Mhm.
close at like 9, 10 o'clock, sometimes 11 o'clock. You're adding on another what? At least 5,000 steps, I'm gonna guess. Maybe 2,000. I don't know. I'm just literally guessing because I don't know. Maybe not 5,000. That seems like a lot. I don't know. But a lot of steps.
It could. It does. And there's so much to do at these
Yes.
parties, and we'll go into that. So much to do, and you're not going to get to everything.
No.
They
That's
pack these
exactly how
parties
Disney is structured. There
so
doesn't matter
full.
what
Yep.
event you do, whether you do the parks, you do the events. Disney is literally structured for you to come multiple times. It is impossible to finish everything. It's impossible. There's no way.
So pick a couple things that you know you want to do and prioritize. I can say the like meet and greets with like Jack and Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. You're going to be waiting in line hour, 2 hours. I think it's been up to 2.5, 3 hours before. The party's only 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, it's a 6 hour party, but
Mhm.
you've already cut it in half if you're standing in line for 3 hours for one character. Um, so definitely prioritize, find what you want. If Jack and Sally is, find out where they're meeting greeting. When you get in at 4 o'clock, that's when you stand in line and start. So that way you're one of the first, and then you have the rest of the party.
Usually they're pretty much a staple at this party. At
I,
least the last couple of years that I've seen people doing meet and greets, Jack and Sally have always been the characters that you can meet, along with like the Fab Five, but they're dressed up in their little Halloween costumes or whatever. But usually Jack and Sally are part of that. I will say really quick, please don't confuse Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in Orlando with Oogie Boogie Bash in Disneyland in California. Those are two completely different parties. They run completely different. They are both Halloween parties. They're both geared towards families, so they're not scary in any capacity. That is one thing that I love about this party, but they are completely different, completely different. So we're only talking about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in Orlando, Florida. So I wanted to throw that out because I know some people, unless they know the difference, they can get confused.
some of the things we'll start touching on some of the things that you can do. They have Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Party, which not Halloween party, Halloween parade.
There you go.
Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade. I will say I like this parade. It's fun, it's interactive. I love the song. Boo
Yes,
to you.
I was already
You.
singing in my head. I haven't
um,
yet, but I've already watched videos of the parade. Like I cannot wait to see this in person.
I like the grave diggers
Hmm.
when they're doing their shovel dances. This parade starts in the back by Frontierland, and
Hmm.
then we'll weave that parade route, go around the castle courtyard, and then come up Main Street. So parade starts. There's two parades.
Hmm.
I think 8 and 10.
Yeah,
But know that they are starting in Frontierland at 8. They're not going to get to Main Street until 8:30, 8:45.
yeah.
Grab a good spot. Honestly, I don't think there's a bad spot, honestly, unless you come in and you're sitting like behind somebody really tall, there's usually a space that you can find that you have decent views.
Hmm.
But just know if you're on Main Street, don't expect to see that parade until 8:30, 8:45. And then anything else to add about the parade?
I know sometimes, at least this past year, while they're waiting for it to come down Main Street, at least this is what I saw last year. They had Power Line, which was like
Okay.
I hope they do it again this year because I would cry tears of happiness if this happens again. They did like a little dance party on the street of like Main Street, and they did like the Power Line dance in the movie, the Goofy movie or whatever. And I really hope they do it again this year. I don't know if it was because I think last year was the anniversary of a Goofy movie, and that's why, but I secretly hope they do it again because
They
I love that movie.
do little entertainment things
Hmm.
just to keep people engaged and kiddos mainly. That first parade is when a lot of the families with young kiddos are going to sit and watch. So if you
Hmm.
can and you're planning to be there later, the later one is it's the same parade. So it's not like it changes, but little less people at that second parade. They'll do that. And then the other thing to kick it off is the headless horseman will horse his way down the parade route to kind of get kick it off and
Yeah, he's the one that
uh,
kicks. I forgot about that part, but yes,
get it
he kicks off
started
the
too.
parade. That's when you know the
Yeah.
party's about to start, is when you see the headless horseman coming down on the horse. Oh, I can't wait. Oh.
Um, the other thing is Mickey's Not So Spooky Spectacular. This is the fireworks show. And like with all Disney's fireworks shows, this is super interactive and spectacular. Definitely a must see. And if you stay for the first parade, if you're watching the first parade, just hang out at Main Street to stay for the fireworks
Mhm.
or do the fireworks and then sit down and just hang out for the second parade. We did that at the Christmas party and it was perfect. It worked
Mhm.
out perfectly. So those, have you watched any of those?
Oh, I've watched like everything. I'll know exactly if like how to tackle this party by the time September rolls around. I'm ready.
And then they have fun stage shows. I'm
Hmm.
not a huge one for the stage shows. So that's something that I don't prioritize.
I will be
Um,
prioritizing this because it's Hocus Pocus themed. And literally, I watch this movie several times a year. This is literally one of my all-time favorite movies. And the fact that the Sanderson sisters come on stage along with all the other villains, I will be there. I will be there. 1000%. I can't
like
wait.
Brian, like Brianna said, the stage show is Hocus Pocus theme, which I think has been a huge hit. It's just been recently that they added that. When I did the college program, it wasn't Hocus Pocus themed.
Mm.
I think it was just villains and whatnot. So that's just been within the last few years that they've added that Hocus Pocus to it, and which has been very popular. And then around the different lands, they also have dance parties and music. There's a Disney Junior Jam at Cosmic Rays,
Which is
perfect
in
for young.
Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland, yep. And then Zombie 4 dance party at the Rocket Tower Plaza stage. That's in Tomorrowland. And in Frontierland, you'll see the Cadaver Dance Barbershop Quartet. They're fun to watch. Um, so with these dance parties, you'll just see the characters dancing kind of in the pool. It's not like a formal meet and greet or picture opportunity. So it's just kind of like an interacting thing. Again, not something I prioritize, but I know a lot of people do. A lot of kiddos
Hmm.
go to that, go to those things.
one of the things that they also do for this party is at each ride or just kind of like central locations. Once you walk in and you get your flyer for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, you'll get a little like reusable bag that has like the logo for the year on it. This is where you're going to take your bag out, like your bag, and you are going to go to usually like ride locations or like I said, central locations where they will have like a little like a scooper and they will fill your bag of candy. Usually, a lot of the times, families will come prepared with a bigger bag because the amount of candy that you are going to come home with is insane. I've always heard people come home with more than enough candy to make it through Halloween, even
Yeah.
and then some. And a lot of people are concerned about allergies. If you have allergies for whatever reason, peanuts, whatever, gluten, they do have separate bags to notate that you have some type of allergy, if I can speak, and they will give you select treats based off of your allergy. So you'll still get plenty of treats and stuff, but it'll be geared towards your allergy. They will not give you what everybody else gets, like the M&Ms and the Snickers and all the other basic candy. They'll have like a separate bin or something to give you allergy-free treats, whatever it is.
So what they do for that, you'll get a token at each treat stop, and then you take that token to allergy friendly centers.
There
So
you
they have different like stations set up around the park, and then you'll get to pick out. Usually it's like an Enjoy Life chocolate bar that are usually those are usually all the top seven. I'm trying to think of what else I've seen. I want to say there might be some like a fruit snack type thing,
go.
but you get the teal bag, like you said, but then you get these little tokens, and then you take those and get switch out the tokens for the treats. And yes, you get be prepared, bring a bigger bag. We and each person in your party, so you get one, your husband gets one, your kid, each child gets a bag.
Mm-hmm.
When my husband and I did it, we we packed light on this trip. We were flying out Frontier, flew back Southwest, so we didn't have a whole lot of extra space. So we just dumped our candy into all the loose crevices of our suitcase. And we get to the airport, and they're
Oh.
like, you need to like take all your food out. It needs to be. And I looked this TSA agent straight in the eye and said, it's not coming out. I said, we have all this loose candy. It's not coming out. And he was like, oh, okay. So he let the scanner person know that it's full of candy, like my full
Mm-hmm.
of candy in all the crevices of our duffel. And then he's like, I said, thanks. Have a nice day. Note to self, they like you to take those things out. I probably shouldn't have handled it that way, but I did. We were fine. But I was like, there's no way I am dumping all of this can because there was no way it was all coming out of my bag.
Oh my.
So yes, bring a separate bag for just the candy to put in at the party, but also note how you're going to bring it home. But yes, trick or treating, they have certain stations up throughout the park. You'll see these big inflatable candy cane things that say like treat stop. And they got good stuff. They didn't used to have as good of stuff that they do now. Take that for
Oh
what
yeah.
you will. And the other thing, some of the attractions have fun overlays, Space Mountain, pitch black, lights off. Let me tell you, scary.
Hmm.
If it's even just the little bit of light that it typically has with the stars, completely black, it's trippy. Let me tell you. But definitely, if you like Space Mountain, definitely do it. Mad Tea Party does an overlay with the teacups, and then Monsters Laugh Floor will have a little fun Halloween themed to it. And then not all the attractions are open during the
No.
party. There is a list of attractions that are, but not just know that not all are open during the party. I would say the majority of them are, but not all.
I did have somebody ask me on social media literally yesterday if they could do like lightning lanes for this party, and I let them know, no, this is not an option. Honestly, I wouldn't be spending, I doubt that I don't even think they're offered actually during the party, honestly, because there's only so many attractions actually, or not attractions, rides that are available. But even then, that's not going to be my focus of the party. I am not prioritizing riding the rides during a party that's already expensive enough. I'm going to prioritize all the parties, the fireworks, the parades, all of those things. So that is something to note that, like Amanda said, not every ride is open. You can ride them if that's what you choose to do with your time. The wait times are definitely going to be significantly cut a lot because the only people that are at the park are the people that paid for a party ticket. So you're not going to have the typical wait times that you would normally see on a regular, just normal park day, which is nice. But again, I personally wouldn't prioritize spending my 5, 6 hours at the party focused on rides.
I would say though, you'd probably be surprised on how you think that the wait times are going to be a lot less, but you'd
Yeah.
be surprised on actually how high they are in reality.
Hmm.
They are less than a normal day, but they're
For
higher
sure.
than what you would expect at a
For
party,
sure.
which
They're not going
I
to be
do feel they
walk-ons.
oversell. Right. They're not
Unless
going to
it's
be
like,
walk on.
some rides that already have low wait times to begin with, then yes, it'll probably be a walk on. But some of your bigger attractions, there's still going to be a wait.
Yep.
It's inevitable.
I do feel, in my own personal opinion, they oversell these parties. My personal opinion. Okay. Food. In addition to candy, they have fun treats that are themed to the Halloween party. These are costs, like they're not just
Mhm.
included in your party. Um, some things that they have for this year, and they always come out with a big foodie guide, so kind of keep an eye out on that. But just a couple things that they've noted so far. Madame Leota's Seance Candle, which is a red velvet cake and cookies and cream mousse. The Mickey shaped cheesecake, pumpkin cheesecake with graham cracker crust and a white chocolate whipped ganache. Look at me, sounded fancy.
Mhm.
Seance and ganache. Beef short rib with purple potatoes, braised with red wine, figs, peppers, and a touch of dark chocolate.
Oh.
And then there are some quick services open. Not all of them will be open. Some will serve some Halloween inspired food. Like Gaston's usually closes pretty early. So just kind of keep in mind if you want that cinnamon roll or LeFou's brew. Note that they're going to close, I think, around 4, 5. If you're not staying at the party, any table service, they will escort you out if you happen to still be there during the party. Not angrily escort you out, just kindly make sure you get out
Yeah.
the door because you're not allowed. When you do check in for the Halloween party, you do get a wristband
Hmm.
that says you're there, whether you come in through the front gates or if you go through a check-in like you're already in the park. There's a certain check-in stations for the Halloween party. There is a fireworks dessert party if you choose to reserve that during your party time. I don't recommend it, but to each their own. And then there's always fun merchandise that you can get that denotes that you were at the party.
Hmm.
Apparel, drinkware, pins, So don't forget to get your souvenir that commemorates your party trip. And then the last 2 minutes we have costumes.
I was literally waiting for my chance to talk about this.
You go. You go, girl.
So, one of the things to note, if you're just planning a normal trip to Disney, you can't really wear costumes. It's not really something you're allowed to do. However, on party days, this is the time that you're allowed to go all out, dress up as you please, as whatever character you want. Obviously, still appropriate because, this is a family friendly event. So, keep that in mind. But this is the time that you're allowed to wear whatever costume, dress up as a certain character, really go all out for this party. Can't
And
wait.
and there are certain guidelines.
Mhm.
Did you say they can't be scary?
Yeah, I think that's another, they can't, you can't wear like traditional like Scream and, Michael Myers, like the other scary movie type stuff, only family friendly
Friendly.
costumes. Nothing
Yeah.
scared like kids you would see walking around during Halloween, when it's trick or treat time. No, something appropriate for families and little kids.
Yep. So yeah,
Right.
no obscene language or
Yes.
graphics, um, excessive portions of skin showing. Keeping that in mind. Definitely dress up as Cinderella.
I think we've covered pretty much
I think.
everything, just the basics. There's a lot to know about this party, honestly.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, pop them in the chat or the comments or wherever you find yourself. But come back next week. We'll have
Yes,
another episode. We don't know yet, as
very
we are on
excited.
a weekly basis. That's it for this episode, Vacation Dreamers. We hope you picked up some tips, ideas, and a little extra magic for your next adventure. If you enjoyed hanging out with us, be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts for even more travel tips and updates. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep planning, and we'll see you real soon.